It's only in a really serious country you can ask the question, who is Pierre Poutine, address Separatist Street, and hold the attention of half the nation. Who is he indeed? The brother of Kevin Kraft Dinner, perhaps? No, he or it is the alias for some dirty trickster in the writing of Guelph, in a story that's stranded halfway somewhere between Jean le Carré and Maxwell Smart. Guelph elected a Liberal by more than 6,000 votes. So whoever Poutine is, he's not very good at what he does. But because Mr. Poutine was incompetent, there's no reason at all to ignore him. And if he engaged in criminal activity, he should taste criminal justice. No credits for being ineffectual at a crime. And any others with him. If it can be shown there was an organized effort to mess the election, if it involves the Conservative Party itself or its officers, to the stocks with the whole bunch of them. Every party should be interested in these facts, but the Conservatives even more than the Liberals or the NDP. If some rogue freelancer went about performing dubious or illegal acts under the banner of being conservative without conservative sanction, then the Prime Minister, for once, should be as angry as Pat Martin always appears to be. It's a matter of clearing his party's name, after all. He should be expediting the investigation, leading the call for full, quick inquiry. I don't see that. Instead, Mr. Harper is wearing his injured, angry face, as if someone has just grabbed his remote during Coach's Corner. And in the Commons, it's all the same grim, surly, loud counterattack from his front bench. There's something about the way the Tories play hard politics. The either with us or with the child pornographers gambit, for example, from last month. Despicable by any standard. Something that invites the very kind of suspicion this kind of story feeds. Meantime, for the virtuecrats of the opposition benches, it's almost as much fun as the last play. Remember Busty Hookers? I'll bet you do. And I'll equally bet that you're not quite sure now what all that, in the end, was about. Except, of course, for the busts and hookers. There's nothing more pleasurable to a political animal than causing pain to an opponent. Politicians would forego heaven for their friends on the guarantee they could send their enemies to hell. So naturally, the opposition has been writing Robocall for all it's worth. Canadian democracy under peril, dozens of ridings undermined, possibly the entire outcome of the last election corrupted and in doubt. The Tories, a nest of manipulating scorpions. I think if you stitched it all together and gave it a nom de plume, question period last week would win the Giller. There's only one point on which we can all agree. Determine what actually happened. The facts. Get the real, not the speculative picture. Mr. Harper and his ministers open to all questions. Charge criminally if criminal acts were committed. Get resignations if elected officials were involved. In other words, turn this matter over from the beer pit of the Commons to the steely cold gaze of Police and Elections Canada. For The National, I'm Rex Murphy.